So welcome to my YouTube channel. That's what we call the good life. It's November and I'm just going to take you for a little tour around my allotment so you can just see how everything's doing at the moment. Now the weather has definitely changed. It's definitely getting a lot colder and I'm a little bit more reluctant to come up here, but I'm forcing myself to come up here because I know there's still things that I can be eating if nothing else. So if we take a look at the composters, they definitely need a little bit of attention. So I will be turning those over very soon, and we've got some jobs here where we need to break these bits of wood and wire up and do a little bit of runs to the tip and getting rid of things that we don't need. I need to sort my rhubarb out, which I haven't done yet, which I will be doing very soon. And we've got loads of leaves around here, which I'm going to try and pick up and put onto my composter because that's all really good mulch. My artichokes, as you can see, my grove artichokes are starting, the new ones are starting to peek through, so I need to take all this dead growth off, which I haven't got round to do. It's that time of year where there's an awful lot of things that you could be doing. It's just a case of gradually getting them done over the winter months. So as we move down, I've got my raspberries along here, which I've taken some of the old canes out, but I haven't taken them all out. And the same with my gooseberries. In fact, I don't think I've really done much to them apart from pull a few of the weeds out. So I do need to be putting a bit of attention over those over the next month or so. I've got my parsnips in there. I've actually yet to dig any. I've actually been a bit nervous about how big they're going to be because I put them in a little bit late. So they look really good above the ground, but not too sure whether they're going to look like below the ground. Those are my late carrots, and I did put a few a little while ago, and they're like the little Chardonnay ones, and they did look okay actually, but I've still got some on my main crop carrots, so I'm still digging those at the moment. I've mulched around here because obviously I've not got anything growing. I don't generally put as much mulch down, but this year I'm having a bit of a trial between mulching and doing the ground cover. So I've covered, because it would be quite hard just to cover this little area as well, so we've had a little bit of a go with mulch. I've got my leeks over there, and they've definitely been a little bit slow to the party this year, but I think they finally are starting to thicken out a little bit. I've got to be really honest with you, I get them out really early, you know, I start them off in February, and I don't know how they've not grown so much, but you know, they're still there and they're slowly getting bigger, so I'm just being patient, and I haven't dug them yet. I finally dug over my little polytunnel because it was just full of weeds, so that was a really boring job, a really hard job to do because all these bars kept hitting my head. But you know, it's done now. I've got my blueberries here, which look absolutely beautiful. Obviously nothing on them at the moment, but they do look absolutely glorious. They're so much bigger, and I've only had them a couple of years, so I'm really optimistic that next year I'm going to get a really good crop. So my garlic's coming on really quite well, so obviously it's possible to know what's going on underground. I can't bear to take these little fennels out, and I probably should, and the frost is probably going to kill them, and that's actually a little throng of asparagus I think there. So the frost will probably just kill those off, and they probably won't fill out big enough for me to eat them, but you never know. I just thought I'd leave them in as a bit of an experiment. That's my overwintering onions. So obviously they're going to sit there nicely over the winter until next year. I've dug this area over and cleared the weeds, and I've put a little bit of ground cover on. So ground cover is what I normally do, and I will put some more ground cover down. If you're wondering where I get my ground cover from, we do have an Amazon allotment shop, which we earn a little bit of money out of, I have to say that. So we'll put a link up on the screen and in the description. I've got to say, it saved me loads of time and made life a heck of a lot easier by covering part of my allotment during the winter, because it's in the spring when everything seems to go crazy. The weeds grow a lot quicker than you think they're going to grow, and at least if your ground's covered, the weeds can't start growing before you're ready to start planting. And over here I do need to do a little bit more weeding here, so I've still got plenty of chard in. I've got a little bit of beetroot, which I really must get up because it's been a little bit colder, and sometimes the colder weather can really adversely affect them, plus the fact there's not many of them left anyway. I've got my main crop carrots in here, which have been pretty good, you know, so I've pulled some that haven't really been that big, but most of them have been really decent, and I don't know the last time I bought carrots, so I would say that's a really good success, bearing in mind we do eat quite a lot of carrots in our house. So I've got my Jerusalem artichokes here, which these are the tuber variety. So I dug one plant the other day, so I've still got quite a selection in there, so I'm going to have to try and find some people to share that with. And I've got some more gooseberries plants down here, which obviously I need to tidy up, which I've not got around to doing. Obviously I've weeded around them a little bit, but I do need to take out some of the dead wood. I've pulled this back, I had this covered over a frosty night, and they still seem to have suffered a little bit, unfortunately, but we'll see whether they carry on ripening or not. So these are my Cape gooseberries. I've had a really good harvest off of these. I've been really impressed. So if the bad weather gets them, it's not exactly the end of the world, but hey, we just have to see what happens. I'm not going to pull them up until they're completely fallen apart. If I can get a few more ripe ones off of it, it's definitely worth leaving them a little bit more. I've got a bit more tidying up to do down here because I've not hit this bit with weeding yet. My kale is starting to look a little bit tatty. I think I need to rethink the covering that I get because it just keeps growing and then touching the top, and then I don't lose it all, but it's not ideal, is all I'm going to say. And I've still got my broccoli in, which I still keep seeming to take little bits of broccoli off of it, but I can't imagine that's going to go on for much longer, if I'm really honest. But I will have another look underneath, and I still keep getting broccoli off of it. I'll still keep taking it. So the broccoli has been a definite success this year. And then of course my wildflowers. Now they were looking still absolutely stunning last week, but the little bit of frost that we've had, the nasturtiums have completely flopped down. But you know, it happens every year. But it was looking really beautiful for a lot longer than it normally looks, and I'm sure that all the seeds from that will all fill out and they'll all grow back again next year. And if you're wondering what jobs you can be doing to prepare your allotment or your home garden for winter, I have done a video on that. There'll be a link up on the screen and also one in the description.